the game is themed around like observation and the idea of like you are observing things, you're like following people that have left their things behind, you're finding those, you're following their trail. And they're obsessed with finding the eye of the universe because they think it'll like grant them this sort of like knowledge. Like Nomai wanted to find it because it would get sort of eternal or infinite knowledge of the universe itself. But I think the nature of the eye is such it's literally called the eye. And I think what's the interesting implications of that, but going into the eye, I think what it implies is that you are now observing the universe, but I think it ties into this idea that like only by being observed can it exist. Like if you were not there to see it, the universe would not mean anything because it would not have anyone to observe it. And so by entering it, the way I sort of read the game as saying and like what this like literally or metaphorically means, I think what it's trying to say to you is that you see all your friends thereafter, right? And
Mhm.
if you meet the Nomai, you'll meet the Nomai as well. And if you do the DLC and you meet the DLC character, you'll also see a DLC character there. And I think what it's trying to imply there is that by your own history informs the world that you see, and in this sense, like literally the world that you would create, like the shape of the world, like the screens you get at the end are different, like based slightly on what you do. And so, like I took that as the meaning is like the message being that like the way that you perceive the world in some way affects it or creates it for you as you do that. And I think it's a really interesting message. Like I get a lot of meaning out of that. And I think just the also just the there's also this really lovely sense of like being okay with things ending um, and being excited for new things to come. I think there's also this sense of like this universe is ending and that's fine. Like the game doesn't imply that that's like a happy thing. It's not. Like it's very
Yeah.
sad and the game is very grim for a reason. Like you die a lot and your friends are sad that it's ending. But I think it also tries to give you the sense of like that's fine. New things will happen. Like
Yeah.
things will continue in some shape,
Yeah.
even if you're not there to see them. So I don't know. It's a game that I expect to like continue to get a lot of meaning out of as I get older because I think once I'm like 50, that'll hit a lot differently.
Oh yeah.